Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-Hayy, 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 Al-Hayy. Al-Hayy, 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 Al-Hayy. Al-Hayy, 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 Al-Hayy. Al-Hayy, 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 Al-Hayy. Al-Hayy, 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 Al-Hayy. Al-Hayy, 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 Al-Hayy. Al-Hayy, 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 Al-Hayy. Ya Mawla Meherban, Ya Mushkil Kusha Mawla, we all have gathered here, Mawla, to understand your Farameens, to discuss your Faramin, Mawla, be the light on the tongue of Nachis, be the light in the ears of friends, Mawla, be the light in our heart, Mawla. Ya Mawla, so we can learn this deeper meaning of Farameens and Mawla find the strength, capability at all our beings, Mawla, physical, spiritual, and intellectual, Mawla, to be able to follow your Farameens with conviction, Mawla. Tawfiq, Ta'id, Himmat wa Yari. Ya Mawla, we seek your help, your madad, Mawla, courage from you, your friendship, Mawla. Ya Mawla Meherban, all this is possible with your help, Mawla. Ya Mawla Meherban, Ya Mawla Meherban. Mushkil Kusha Meherban, we want to walk on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim, Mawla. We just not want to walk, but run, Mawla. Ya Mawla, we want to come close to your light, Mawla. See your Batini, Nurani, Didar, Mawla. Ya Mawla Meherban. Make it possible for us, Mawla. Ameen. Ilahi Ameen. Ya Ali Madad to all friends.
Wala Ali
Dad.
Today we
everyone.
We are going to continue with our discussion on Farman from Kalam-e-Imam Mubin in English. So last time I did receive feedback that we don't understand Gujarati. First, can you help us understand in English? So what we'll do this time, we'll read the Farman and I will, paraphrase it in English so we all are connected what Mawla is saying. So this is Kalam-e-Imam Mubin Farman, Mumbai, May 10th, 1889. हक मौलाना धनी सलामत दातार सरकार आका सुल्तान मोहम्मद शाह हाजी माह में फरमान प्लीज रिसाइट सलवात अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद आज रातना हमें इच्छी यानी हमारी मर्जी थाई छे के पैगंबर हजरत मूसा ની હદીસ તમારા પાસે બયાન કરીએ. Mawla says that I desire tonight, it is my wish that I would like to tell you a story, a hadith of Prophet Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Hazrat Musa mimbar પાસે બેઠા હતા અને વાઇસ કરતા હતા. Mawla says that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was sitting on a mimbar, like a stage, like a place, and he was giving knowledge, he was delivering a wa'az. ઉમ્મત સિવા બીજા પણ ઘણા લોકો બધા ભેગા થતા હતા. In addition to Ummah, there were other people also gathered. Now, Ummah is included for those who follow. And during the time of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, all the followers were gathered. But in addition to the Ummah, there were more people who were there and they were seeking knowledge when he was delivering the wa'az. 70,000 તો ફક્ત પેગમ્બર ઝાદા યાની અસલ જે પેગમ્બર થઈ ગયા તેના ફરજંદો ત્યાં સાંભળતા અને તાલીમ પણ લેતા હતા યાની શીખતા હતા. And then Mola elaborates that who were there listening in addition to the Ummah. And the first category Imam tells us is about 70,000. 70, just 70, not 70, Sinter Hazar. Okay. So 70,000 were only the children of prophets. 70,000 were children of prophet who were gathered there to take this knowledge. Meaning they were students of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. That's what Imam is telling us, that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, when he was delivering the wa'az, all the ummah was gathered in front of him. Not only ummah, but there were more. And then also children of all the prophets. So why Imam is telling us this? He is helping us understand the knowledge Hazrat Musa alayhi salam had at that time. It was not an ordinary knowledge. It was very in-depth knowledge he had, that not only the ummah was coming to learn from him, other people. And I can tell you that when Mola says, bija ghana loko, in that we can consider that even, angels, those, all the ruhanis were there listening to the wa'az of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. And then Mola helps us understand that, look at his status of his knowledge, that 70,000 children of the Prophet were there who were his students, meaning that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam knowledge was really, really very powerful. Hazrat Musa પોતાના મનમાં ઘણી મગરૂરી કરતા હતા અને ખુશી થતા હતા. જે કેટલા બધા માણસો મારા પાસે સાંભળવા આવ્યા છે તેઓ મનમાં મગરૂર થતા હતા. Seeing all those people in front of him, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam felt pride in his heart. And he was, thinking that so many people have come in front of me. Oh, I am so, knowledgeable and I am so big that so many people have come to listen to my session. So in his heart, he was thinking like that. Hazrat Musa જે કિતાબો પઢતા હતા અને તેમને પાસે જે કિતાબો હતી તેને 40 ઊંટો ભરતા હતા. Now again, Mola is helping us understand that the reason he was so prideful, because he did also have knowledge, and his books were actually put on 40 camels. The number of books he had, one can load on 40 camels. Can you imagine the numbers of the books he must have had, he must have read? So truly, he was very well versed in talim, in scholarly, in, bookish knowledge. Then મૂસા પોતે મગરૂર થતા હતા અને પેગમ્બર ઝાદાઓને ફરમાવતા હતા કે જુઓ ખુદાવંદ તાલા મને કેટલી મોટાઈ આપી છે. And Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was probably telling them that he has read so many books, he has so much of knowledge, and they were all impressed by listening to him. So Hazrat Musa alayhi salam says that Khuda Ta'ala has given me, such an exalted status. I am this, that I have so much of knowledge, and it is only due to the mercy of Lord that I know so much. Khuda mara sathe vatu kare che. Then he says, Khuda Ta'ala speaks to me. Remember, his title was the one who speaks with Lord. Hazrat Musa એમ કહેતા હતા કે ખુદાવંદ તાલા પોતે મારી સાથે મોઢાથી વાતો કરે છે. Now, Mola elaborates on this one, that how Musa was at that time when he was saying that Khuda talks to me, meaning that he was saying, he was letting people know that by mouth, literally by mouth, Khuda Ta'ala is talking to me. એવી રીતે મૂસા પેગમ્બર ગર્વ લેતા હતા. He was feeling this pride in his mind, in his heart, that Khuda Ta'ala, talks to me so closely that, it is the words coming out of his mouth, he sees it. That was happening. That was the norm which was happening. Then Mola irshad is, એક દિવસ હઝરત મૂસા વાઇસ કરતા હતા ત્યારે એક શખ્સે હઝરત મૂસાને પૂછ્યું કે એવો કોઈ શખ્સ છે જે તમારાથી વધુ હોય? There is a was going on, and there is one person, who says that, is there anyone who knows more than you? Yani ilm વધારે જાણતો હોય? Is there anyone who knows more knowledge than you? હઝરત મૂસાએ ફરમાવ્યું કે મને ખબર નથી. હું નથી જાણતો કે મારાથી કોઈ વધુ હોય. The reply that Musa alayhi salam gives, he says, oh, I don't know. If anybody else knows more than me, I don't know. And I don't think there is anyone who would know more than me. તે જ વખતે જિબ્રાઈલ નાઝિલ થયા અને કહ્યું કે એ મૂસા, તમે જાઓ અને તે શખ્સ પાસે ઇલ્મ શીખો. Immediately at that moment when he said it verbally, that no, I don't think anybody would know more than me. Immediately at that moment, Jibreel alayhi salam comes and he says, there's a wahi to him that, oh Musa, you need to go and seek knowledge from that gentleman. Evu tamara mate khudano hukum che. That is the command of Allah. Hazrat Musa e કહ્યું કે કયો શખ્સ? તેને હું ઓળખતો નથી. And Hazrat Musa alayhi salam says that, who are you talking about? Who is this, man? I do not recognize him. ત્યારે જિબ્રાઈલે કહ્યું કે જેટલું ઇલ્મ દુનિયામાં છે તે તમે તે શખ્સ પાસે શીખવા માટે જાઓ. Very interestingly, we really have to reflect on Imam's words. Mawla says that the knowledge which is in this world, all the knowledge which is available in this world, you need to go to that gentleman to learn that knowledge. આંગળીથી નિશાની બતાવીને કહ્યું કે તમે ત્યાં જાઓ. Jibreel directs him by indicating, pointing the finger, that you need to go to this direction to seek knowledge. તેની પાસેથી ઇલ્મ શીખો, and you need to go and learn knowledge from them. એવું તમારા માટે ખુદાનો હુકમ છે. That is the command of ખુદા. હઝરત મૂસાએ કહ્યું કે તે શખ્સને હું ઓળખતો નથી, તેને હું ગોતવું કે ક્યાં જાઉં? Again, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam with his, reasoning that I don't recognize him. How do I go find him? Jibreel e કહ્યું કે તમે જઈને જોશો તો ત્યાં છે. અગર તમે ગોતશો તો તે ત્યાં છે. અગર તમે ગોતશો તો તમને મળશે. 3 times, Mola says. Again, Musa says, I don't recognize him. When I don't recognize, how do I find him? So Jibreel alayhi salam says, તમે જઈને જોશો તો તે ત્યાં છે. If you go look for him, he is there, number 1. Then he says, if you go there, he will be there, he is there. So first, to look, use your eyes. Second, you need to walk, go in that direction, seek. And then if you search for him, you will find him. So these are 3 stages actually Imam is telling us, that he was told to, take upon himself. First, use your senses, Joso to te tyan che. If you will search through your senses, look through your senses, you will find him. He is there. If you will search for him, he is definitely there. If you will look for him, search for him, you will find him. In English language, there's a limitation. English is not a rich language. The way Gujarati is rich, Arabic, Urdu, these languages are very rich. For one thing, there are levels of word, layers of words, which does change meaning differently, you know. So in English, I would say, oh, Mola is saying to go look for him, search him, you shall find if you search. But in reality, when you look at in Gujarati, there are different stages which are very clear. First is using senses. Second, to become, you know, accept that you do not know. You have to search, you have to look, you have to really like go find him. And then if you are in search, if you are searching, you're already like looking for him, you will find. So these are three stages actually when Musa says that I do not recognize him. How will I find? Three levels of search were indicated to him that he needs to do. Now, if we were to take these three levels into the talimat of our Buzrugwar Deen, our Hujjatan has given us, there are three very clear-cut stages. And that is, first is ilmul yaqeen, that we need to have knowledge. And for that knowledge, we need to use our senses. Listening, seeing, you know, opening up books. We need to use our senses to seek ilm. When we don't have knowledge, of course, we cannot go to the second stage because we don't recognize him. So the first is to seek knowledge. Second stage which is given is ainul yaqeen, meaning search him in your batin. If you do not recognize him, if you do not know how to find him, first stage is knowledge, and the second is to seek him in your batin. However, you got to take the first step to be able to get to the second step. And then third stage is te tamne malshe, you will find him. That is haqqul yaqeen. There is no doubt that we will not find him. He is there and he will meet us. So these are three stages actually are being given in the Talimat of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah in 1885. The language Imam has not used the way our dais, you know, Pir Nasir Khusro or Tusi or say the Kirmani, those dais, Hujjatan at that time had used that language when Jamaat who was in Iran, Persia, because they knew Arabic and they knew Persian and all that languages of our Hujjatan. This Jamaat, who is in Indo-Pak, and they are being converted, given Talimat of Ismaili Tariqa by Pir Sadruddin. Their language is Gujarati. So Imam, without making them very uncomfortable or telling those words, you know, Imam is giving them in beautifully in Gujarati language three levels of search, which every Mu'min has to take upon themselves to recognize him. Orakta nathi, we all know, those who understand, that orak is actually in relation to recognition. So, Alhamdulillah, what we realize when we study Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farameen, we realize that Mawla actually started to give us talimat as soon as he sat on the Gadi of current times. Jamaat, when we did not have knowledge, we didn't understand it. But in current time, Shah Karim's time, the mercy of Mawla, the miracle of Mawla is that Talimat has been open to all. All these books of Ardais and Hujjatans have been printed by IIS. So we have access to these books and we can read these books. When we read these books, we study all that knowledge. And when we study Faramis, it is mind-blowing because Imam has given all the Talimat. Somehow we have remained blind. Why? What was the reason? We thought we knew. We knew Gina, we knew Farman, so we knew. And in this Farman, behind the veil of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Imam is teaching us that if you think you know, believe that you don't know, and you need to seek knowledge. So what we are learning, we don't know. I am saying I don't know, I really need to learn. There is so much to learn. So Alhamdulillah, with Mawla's mercy, we are learning. So let's go to the next paragraph. Hazrat Musa potana janashin Yushu ne leine chalya. Now, very interestingly, Imam says Hazrat Musa's janashin was Yushu. And Hazrat Harun ne takhat upar besadia. Maulana Harun alayhi salam was made to sit on the takhat, and Hazrat Musa alayhi salam leaves. તે વખતે જિબ્રાઈલે આવીને કહ્યું, એ મૂસા, તમે ખુદાનો હુકમ છે કે સાથે એક સૂકી માછલી લઈ જવો. તેમને તેનાથી હઝરત ખિઝર મળશે. હઝરત ખિઝરને યાદ કરશો તો તમને મળશે અને તમને શીખવશે. આ માછલી જ્યાં જીવતી થાય ત્યાં તે શખ્સને તમે ગોતજો અને જોજો. So here we are starting the different story. So let me just talk about this sentence first. We did started to talk about it last time, but we had poor connection. So let me repeat that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam's Janashin Yushu bin Nun. Now when we study that all the Natik, there are 6 Natiks: Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hazrat Musa, Hazrat Isa, and Prophet Muhammad. Each Natik brought their Shariat, brought their laws, and with each Natik there was Asas Imam. And we understand this. This is not new for us. We understand this. How do we understand it? Very simply, when we know that Prophet Muhammad, he brought the book, Quran, and his Asas was Maula Ali. So Natik and Asas always come together. Now we have learned that in every time, whenever there was a Natik, there was Asas Imam. So the Natik, who is Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, whose story Maula is telling us, his Asas is Maulana Harun alayhi salam. As we know, Maula Ali is Imam, Maulana Harun is also Imam, because whoever is Asas is actually Imam as well. Asas is the title given to Imam who gives Tawilah. Maula Ali, there's a saying, there's a hadith of Prophet Muhammad that I brought Tanzil and Maula Ali gives Tawil. Maula Ali is the teacher of Tawil. Maula Ali himself says that I am the teacher of Tawil. So what we understand from the example of what we already know. What do we know? We know about Prophet Muhammad and Maula Ali. And Prophet has given us hadith that if you want to understand me and Ali, you really have to study Hazrat Musa alayhi salam with Harun alayhi salam. So in reality, this Farman is actually teaching us about Prophet Muhammad and Maula Ali as well. Different aspects are being used by Maula to teach the Jamaat who was sitting at that time in front of him to teach from history. History is very important. If we have not studied history of our prophets, we will have difficulty to realize the exaltedness of our Imams. So Alhamdulillah, what we see in this one is very beautiful realization that Hazrat Musa's Janashin was Yushi bin Nun. Now, how did that happen? We have not heard of this name, Yushi. The full name is Yushi bin Nun. Yushi bin Nun was a Khidmat Guzar student of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam and Maulana Harun. He is not from the family. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam and Hazrat Harun alayhi salam are family. From some traditions, it says that they were brothers. Other traditions says they were cousin brothers. So they were related in one way or the other. Hazrat Yushi bin Nun is not related. He is one of the Jamaati member, but very, very staunch Mu'min, desiring to learn and serve the Prophet and the Imam. He was chosen by Hazrat Musa alayhi salam to be, going on the journey with him. And Maulana Harun, who is actually the Imam, he was sitting on the takhat. Now, in this sentence, Imam is also teaching us that who has the takhat? Imam has the takhat. Always Imam has the takhat. Imam is the one who is the Malik of Amr. Now, then, what is the status of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam? Definitely, if we study the ranks, we will realize that the rank of Natik is higher than Imam. However, there are different ranks in Imam as well, which we need to understand. So whenever there is a time of natik, they are in front for Jamaat. Time of prophethood and time of imam. However, who sits on the takhat? It is imam. Without imam, this world would not last. Imam is always present. Prophet come and they go. But imam is always present. So in reality, what are we talking about? Whose recognition we are talking about in this moment? It is the recognition of imam. Alhamdulillah. Now, when this journey was started, like Yusuf bin Nun will go with Prophet Musa and Maulana Harun will remain there to be teaching the Jamaat and giving Faramins to take care of the Jamaat because Prophet is going on a journey. At that time, Jibril comes again and says, "O Musa, you need to take a dry fish with you. That is the hukum of Allah. And with that fish, you will find Hazrat Khizr." This time, Jibril gives him the name of that personality, of that gentleman whom he had to find, Hazrat Khizr. Hazrat Khizr ne yaad karso to tamne malshe. Now, in addition to dry fish, command is that if you will remember him, then you will be able to find him. ખિઝરને યાદ કરશો તો તમને મળશે અને તમને શીખવશે. Not only that you will find him, but he will teach you as well. Again, if you read carefully, there are darja, there are ranks. First, we need to have a dry fish. Second, need to remember him. Third, then only he will teach you. So again, there are darja. આ માછલી જ્યાં જીવતી થાય ત્યાં તે શખ્સને તમે ગોચો અને જોજો. Wherever this fish comes to life, at that place, you have to look for him. Look for him. And તમે ગોચો અને જોજો. Look for him. Physically using your eyesight to look for him. Search for him. Now, before we go further, why fish? Fish is actually in the Talimat of our Buzrugwar Deen, our Hujjatan, who were in Iran and Arabia, to Prophet Muhammad, to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. All those Talimat from our Natikan to Iran, we understand those books and the allegory, the parable of fish, whenever it is used in Quran, in Farman, in Ginans, actually it indicates to universal soul. Now, you must have heard different tawilat. The beginning level, the basic level is taken as our own soul. Our own soul, which is like dry fish, away from the water, not breathing, living a life like a dead person. There's a term in Urdu, Zinda Numa Murda, meaning that person is alive, but in reality they are dead. So, Zinda Numa Murda. All these terms have been explained to us to understand what does the fish means. However, we will take higher level of understanding, higher level of ta'wil, and that is universal soul. Why are we doing that? Because we already know that the ta'wil of the dry fish being our own soul. We already understand that ta'wil and we've been working on that. It's time, it's high time that we need to know more, learn more, desire to learn more, and build on basic ta'wil, basic understanding, which we already have. So yes, it is a dried fish. Water is the allegory or the parable which is used in Quran, Ginan or Farmans to indicate to true knowledge. Whenever our dry soul will meet the water, now there are some friends who have been taught that water is an also example of Isme Azam. As soon as we get Isme Azam, this dried fish will come to life will awaken. So yes, Isme Azam and Ilm both are very important for our soul. Without that, our soul is as if dead. We are living in the world, normal physical life, worldly life, going to Jamaat Khana, paying the song, attending majalis, and thinking we are alive. But in reality, when we walk on the journey of the knowledge, it teaches us that no, that is the blind faith we are following, and it is the example of as if we are dead. And that is why this Farman, that we need to realize that we are like dead people, dead souls, and that's why we have to go on the journey to search, to learn. And if we go on the journey to search and learn, we will find. And where will we find? Where our soul comes to life. So yes, those, members who volunteered to be in Baitul Khiyal, and then they became brave to take Isme Azam. They got Isme Azam, they started sacrificing their sleep to wake up to find the Noor of Imam. Wonderful. Very, very crucial step in our lives, very important. So Mubarakbad to those who were brave enough to volunteer to say that they want to do Ibadat. So Ibadat is to do with using our own free will to say, I want to do more. But when we got the Isme Azam, somehow we got connected to understanding of Faramins, understanding of Ginans, and we learned that we need to seek knowledge. And Alhamdulillah, those seekers who have now come to understanding Quran, learning Quran's Tawili knowledge, they are progressing because it is the time Imam wants us to progress in knowledge too. And every one of us is capable of doing that because Imam's Noor, Imam's name is with us. So, universal soul is higher level of understanding for fish. However, here this fish is dry. So it is not actually talking about universal soul. It is talking about us because universal soul is not dry. Who is dry? We are dry. Meaning that part of us has the ability to connect to universal soul, to be able to get to that level. Meaning what? Asal mein wasal. Meaning what? Become one with Imam. Meaning what? Fana fillah. Use any term, mono-reality. It all means the same thing. Why different terms? So we exercise our intellect, we exercise our brain and find joy from learning every term. Because our intellect, our brain has given to us actually to learn. And we have used that brain in our worldly life to become successful people in our worldly life, and we are living very comfortably in physical lives. Now it's high time that we use our intellect to learn these talimat to be able to understand higher level of tawilat and higher understanding so we can bring our soul, complete, total soul to life. Parts of the souls are dead. And Imam is referring to that dead part of soul which has a potential to connect to universal soul. Fish is a universal soul, but dead is us. Sukhi machli is us. So I hope that you are able to understand that how in one example, Imam is teaching us so many things, so many things. It is only with knowledge that we will realize that there are layers of understanding which we need to seek. So Alhamdulillah, Musa is being told that you need to take a dry fish with you. And due to that, you will find Hazrat Khidr alayhi salam, and you need to remember him. Then he will teach you. And when you will look for him, this fish will come to a life if you will find him, search him, see him. Very interestingly, does the soul of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was dead? We should ask that question because we are studying about Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. And Imam has already praised him that he was learned. The books he had read was on 40 camels. Teaching the wa'az he was giving to was big numbers. He had big numbers in front of him. Even the children of prophets were in front of him learning the knowledge. But then he is being commanded to take this dry fish and seek knowledge. So with very, humility, we have to have humility in our heart and realize this point, that first it is actually about us. It is not about Hazrat Musa. It is all about us, that we are like that and we need to learn this knowledge. But then there's a higher understanding, and we need to be able to see that our prophets were our teachers. Through their examples, Imam is teaching us in this Farman. So the level Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was, we already know, it's already been mentioned that he used to talk to Allah. Even at that level, Hazrat Musa is being told to take dry fish. Why? Number one, first lesson, he was being prideful in his heart that he knows so much. Guru Raya, meaning there was no humility. He had forgotten the most important lesson of humility. Because this journey did happen. This journey did take place. That is why Maula is teaching us with the name of Prophet. So we will have to realize that in the journey of knowledge, in the journey of progress, there are very many tests. And we will have to realize the most important lesson is humility. And I'm sure we hear the Betul Khal Farami. What is the most important criteria, Imam tells us, is of humility. It is very much possible when we read books, when we learn knowledge, when we have, Jamaat listening to us, there is a possibility that the element of pride can enter into our heart. And when that happens, we are like a dead fish. So no matter what position we are servant of Jamaat. Whatever status we have, we are servant of Jamaat. If we remember that lesson, we will not be trapped by shaitan and lose the status, lose that nur which we have in our heart. Because why do I say the word lose? Because there's a ladder, we climb up the ladder. If we are climbing up the ladder, meaning we are getting nur. Nur is also coming in stages. Though, depending on the hard work we do, we get nur. So we are progressing up and suddenly there is a pride. Oh, I did this. I know so much. We fell down the ladder. And in the story of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, due to his pride, due to that thought which came into his heart, and he said, I don't think more than me anybody would know. And he was sent to the journey to find that personality where his dead soul can come to life. It can become alive. Meaning, there are very many darajat of learning. There are very many darajat of recognition. At every rank, at every daraja, there is a test. If any one of us fails the test, we fall down. So the test of humility is extremely important, very crucial. Without humility, we cannot progress in Betul Khal. And that is what we see from the lesson of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. All right, so the next paragraph says, Hazrat Musa e potani ummat ne kahiyu ke mane khudano hukum che. Now, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam is speaking to his ummat that there's a command for him from Allah. Tu ilm sikhwane mate ja. No, height of humility, Imam is teaching us. Those who say they know, they are being told by Khuda go seek knowledge. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam is telling his ummah that I have this command from Allah that I need to learn knowledge. Immediately he's forgiven because he accepted that I don't know. And I have been told that I need to go and seek knowledge. Through, again, this example is teaching us that humility is so important. You know, we all are mature ages. We are professionals and, you know, businessmen and whatnot. We have so much of knowledge. But when we are gathered in the ilm majlis, you know, we all become students because every time, everyone can learn. I can learn from you all. So that is the element of humility one has to always have. Until we die, we are student. We are learning something or the other. So Alhamdulillah, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam says that I have been commanded to learn knowledge. જેથી હું ઇલ્મ શીખવાના માટે જાઉં છું અને હઝરત હારૂનને તખત ઉપર બેસાડું છું. He says that I am going on the journey to learn knowledge. Why did he have to tell that? What is the learning for us here? Are we just reading a story Imam is telling us? You know, he's 11 years old probably and he's telling us the story. So everybody's like, okay, Mullah is telling us a story. Let's listen to the story. No, it's not a story. It is full of teaching. It is full of hidayat and tawilat. Mullah is saying that જેથી હું ilm શીખવાને માટે જાઉં છું અને હઝરત હારૂનને તખત ઉપર બેસાડું છું. Not only that he is being humble, he's teaching the Jamaat that he is humble to all his ummah, and he's also saying that I am going to learn knowledge, and Hazrat Harun alayhi salam will sit on the throne, meaning that when I'm leaving, Hazrat Harun alayhi salam is there to teach you. The teacher is there, Imam is there. In the time of Prophet, people learn the Shariat, the Talimat of the Paigambar, but Imam is always there to teach. Today one can say, oh, I wish I was born in Hazrat Paigambar Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam's time. We would have learned the Quranic verses and we had known all that. Today it is so difficult. We have lost that language because of migration and whatnot. We do not know. This is the hidayat for those who say, oh, I don't know Arabic, or I cannot study, I am not capable. Whatever is the excuse. Hazrat Harun ne takhat upar bisadu. Imam is always there to teach us. Imam has never left our side. We forget Imam. He does not. So, Paigambar being the Paigambar, he says that I am going to teach you. I'm going to learn. I don't know, so I'm going to learn this knowledge. And Maula is sitting on the takhat. Hazrat Musa, Yushi ne સાથે લઈ એક નદીને પાસે આવ્યા. તે ઠેકાણે હઝરત મૂસાને કુદરતી હાજત થવાથી માછલીને ત્યાં મૂકી અને હઝરત યુશુને ત્યાં જ બેસાડી હાજત માટે ચાલ્યા. Very interestingly, now they are on the journey and they reach some, talab, nadi. And at that time, Hazrat Musa had this call of nature and he had to leave for that. So he says to Hazrat Yushu, sit there, and the fish is there with him, and he goes for restroom, right? And then Hazrat Musa કુદરતી હાજત માટે હંમેશા ઘણા છેટે જતા હતા કારણ કે તેમને કોઈ જોઈ નહીં. Now very interestingly, why do we need to know? Why do we need to know that there was a nature's call? And why do we need to know that he used to go very far so nobody can see him? What is the learning in this? Why would Imam give us this farman? Naturally, we have so many duties, so many flaws. Example is of our physical, body's waste. Waste is always hidden. Why? Because it is not pleasant. It is to be hidden. Whatever flaws we have, whatever deficiencies we have, whatever weaknesses we have. It has to remain hidden. It does not need to come out in front of people. There are two concepts which one has to understand. One is humility, which is being shown to Jamaat, that we need this lesson, this teaching to be humble. However, humility does not mean that this person who is being humble does not know anything. Humility is misunderstood in Jamaat, in the whole world. Humility is seen as the sign of weakness. Humility is seen as deficiency or flaw, which is misunderstanding. Naturally, we all have some demons, some weaknesses, some flaws. We are prone to some weaknesses in our being. And Pir has taught us, Kam, Krodh, Moh, Ahankar, Hasad, all those gussa, all those diseases like, anger, jealousy, pridefulness, all those diseases which we are actually studying in the book study of Book of Healing. So those who are interested to learn more about spiritual diseases and in that direction, the Talimat, knowledge from Quran, they can always ask Karim Sahib, Naveen Sahiba for those lectures. And there are Gnans also teaching us this about these diseases. And we have, Nachis have done some lectures on Gnan as well about spiritual diseases. All those are available. So Alhamdulillah, each one of us have some weaknesses. When we have identified that we are prone to anger, or we have this disease of jealousy, or we have this disease of always wanting worldly things, always desiring lobh, moh, maya, all the time, desires of the world. All that those are our flaws. And if we are on the journey of knowledge, we have identified our weaknesses. And we do not need to show those weaknesses because we are working on it. Those are naturally given to us as our tests, each one of us, even Paigambar. Any human who comes to this world, each one of us has been given these tests, which we do not need to show. But we need to work on that. We need to go really hide those far away because it is between me, my soul, and my behavior. I need to fix it. I don't need to expose it to everybody. That is my homework as a Mormon, that I need to identify what spiritual diseases I have, tendencies I have, and I need to work on that. And each one of us should know, must know. In today's time, it cannot be that one would say, oh, I don't know what is my waste, which I need to really let go and hide from people. We all should know. So that is what Imam is teaching us here. And that, learning, that flaws, fixing, some people are prone to be prideful. So all those things which we have as our demons, as our spiritual diseases, we need to sit with our own self and fix it. Nobody needs to know that waste of ours. Nobody needs to be affected by it, whatever spiritual disease we have. It is between me, my soul, my learning. Even, the spiritual diseases, mostly, if someone says, oh, I still don't know what diseases I have, ask your family members. Because it is the close family members who will know that, how you behave, how you expose your diseases to them. Because when we are comfortable, we don't realize, and our families will tell us, you become angry very fast, or you do this, or you are like that. In our relations, we would learn that we have these flaws. And if we value those relations, we work on those behavior and not say, oh, it is others' fault. No, it is our fault. It is our waste. We need to fix it. So, in today's time, there are very many friends who do share going through problems in relations. And, of course, in the worldly sense, we have therapies and we have so many ways of finding out our flaws. Have we been taught in our talimat, in Ginan, Farman, Quran, to work on those behaviors? Yes, 100%. Have we taken the benefit of it? No, we have not. Therefore, we need to learn from the worldly knowledge and seek knowledge. If that's what helps you to fix, to find what are the flaws we have as individuals, what are the demons we have, we need to take care of our flaws, meaning that we need to become a better person so others can live with us, and as Mominins in Jamaat, so we can be brothers and sisters being united, not divided because of our spiritual diseases. And it is each one of us our own job individually to fix it by remaining humble. I don't know and I need to learn. Every day we learn. Hazimam's Farman is that, he reminds us of a hadith of Prophet Muhammad, that when you are in cradle and you reach to your grave, we have to learn. Hazimam has quoted this hadith in his Farman, that we have to be a student like that. So each one of us has to go take care of our waste far away from others. Others should not be affected by our spiritual diseases. It is our spiritual disease. Nobody else is responsible for it. And we need to fix it. So Maula is actually so beautiful. Imams, it is Imam's mercy. When we truly reflect and understand Maula's Farman, it would bring tears to our eyes. He truly, like an affectionate mother, teaches us that what we need to do in our lives. So that was Hazrat Musa taking care of his nature call. And what happened at that time, હાજત માટે ઘણા છેટે જાતા હતા કારણ કે તેમને કોઈ જોવે નહીં. Nobody needs to see that, but yes, close family members do see what are our flaws, and that is also mercy of Imam, that we are being shown by our loved ones that what behavior or diseases we have which we need to work on it. પાછળથી પાણીની વાસથી માછલી જીવતી થઈ અને પાણીમાં ચાલી ગઈ. Behind Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, where Hazrat Yushu is sitting there next to this, water body with this fish, the smell of the water kind of called that dead fish, and that dead fish walks to the, moves to the water. Very interesting. How can fish, even dead fish, walk to the water? It does not logically make sense. Whenever we find Farmans, Quran, Ginans, when logically it's not making sense, always reflect, because there are secrets hidden behind it. If we do not understand, logically it doesn't make sense, we just don't take it as story. The Imam is telling us a story. No. Imam is teaching us. Every word is full of meaning here. So what is the lesson? Because fish does not have legs. Fish does not walk. How would a dead fish smell water? And how would it walk with the water? Questions after questions. Hazrat Musa jyare avya tyare machline tyan na jota, and then it goes on. He didn't see the fish. So the question we have raised, how about we reflect that, what does it mean? And inshallah, we continue with it the next time from page 29. We'll start with there. So we can take some questions. Ji.
Shukran illah walhamdulillah. NIAMAT Saiba, wonderful ta'wil of the actual Farman. It's very difficult to be able to understand this ta'wil if you haven't got experience. And inshallah, we will learn more from this. Any friends got questions or comments, please?
Thank you, NIAMAT Saiba. બહુ ફાઇન રીતે ડિટેલમાં અમારી આત્માનું સી હાલત છે અમને સમજાવ્યા. મને યાદ આવે છે કે સુલતાન મોહમ્મદ શાહ એક વખત ઝાંઝીબાર ગયા અને ખાનામાં ઊભા હતા ઝાંઝીબારના જમાત ખાનામાં ને ફરમાન કરે છે જમાતને કે હું અહીંયા ફરમાન કર્યાને કે છું આ ફરમાન કરું છું તમારા પથ્થર જેવા દિલને નરમ કરવા.
True, very true. That should bring tears in our eyes, that our hearts are like stone, like rocks, so hard that it does not penetrate. These faramins are actually to penetrate our heart and, learn from it and progress. But of course, Imam sees us like dead fish, like rocks in our heart. And how does that rock forms? The first reason is lack of humility. Lack of humility. Hearts will become like rocks when we think of ourselves, oh, I know so much. I am this and that. I am sitting on part, or I am doing this service, or I have that title. All that goes to our head. Humility is extremely important. And we all read and hear Bethul Khalfarami. And we all seek him, his nur, his light. That's why we are here. The first and the most important lesson is of humility. So thank you, Yasmin, for sharing that Farman with us.
Ask another thing, if I understand, આ દુનિયા બની ત્યારે મચ અવતાર, ખુદાનો અવતાર મચનો નહોતો?
Good. I'm so glad you quoted that. So she's talking about much avatar. So much avatar exactly is actually talking about universal soul. Think of it, okay, reflect. Because you've asked, so let's just reflect. Imagine Allah's best creation. Who is that? Human beings. Okay, we all are humans who can walk, who can speak, who can talk, listen, all senses. And here there's a fish. How can a fish who doesn't even talk, fish doesn't have tongue, we know that. If we believe in stories, like children would do, with children's cartoons or children's story, fish would be talking. And nowadays, the more and more we have animation, all the animals are talking, dogs are talking. Children would believe that dogs will, they have language. But we are adults. We do know intellectually, humans are the best creation of Allah, Ashraful Makhluqat. A fish cannot talk. How would a fish guide Jama'ah? So we have to use our intellect. Imam has given us so many faramins about intellect. So much avatar is actually referring to universal soul. When there was the law, let's say, again to understand it in the darjat, that there was law, there was nothing. Kainatu la, there was nothing, right? From the la came the word kun. It became, what became? Universal intellect. And there's a beautiful hadith actually by Prophet that he says that someone asked him, what is the most beloved thing to Allah? And Prophet says that the most beloved thing to Allah is actually intellect. Because when he created the intellect, he said, go forward, it went forward. Go back, it went back. So it followed the command. Command can only be followed when there is intellect. And then he says that then, he loved it. When he created it, it followed the command. Allah loved it. Then he said, I'm going to keep this in the one who I love. Please think. I will keep this in the one who I love. Meaning those who are beloved to Imam, those who are close to Imam, Imam will only give them the intellect. Now the whole universe, the whole world is creation of Allah, Nur-e Mujarrad, the abstract Nur. That Nur has manifested as Imam. All this world is actually the creation belongs to Imam. Imam is the teacher. They do not know him. They do not accept him. That's a different question. if we understand that, we being smileys, we are that beloved Jamaat, my beloved spiritual children. Intellect is kept in whom? Those who will be beloved to me. It is for us. Which intellect we are talking about? The worldly intellect? Are we going to become all scientists and start creating and discovering the discoveries of scientific discoveries? No. Remember all our allegories. We are the ones who are with Isme-Azam. We can be the ones who can get close to the Imam, can become one with the Imam, can become one with the universal soul. So when he said kun, it became, what became? Universal intellect. From universal intellect, universal soul was created. Nafse-kul. That nafse-kul is an indication, it is always being presented as fish. Fish which lives in water. Nafse-kul is with knowledge. Knowledge of what? Universal intellect. And we as seekers, when we say we are like dead fish, so we still are from that ocean because we are connected. He has the concept of higher eye and lower eye. Anai ulvi, anai sifli. He has the higher eye. Our higher eye is with Imam. The lower eye, we have taken form in the physical world, and that drop of the soul is there in the body. That is the lower eye. But the seeking, the desire, the search is that the lower eye will connect to the higher eye. But that lower eye is sleeping. It's like dead, frozen, sick with diseases, rock like hard. Nothing can penetrate. So I hope we understand that when we hear much avatar, actually Imam was referring to universal soul. If you study 1945 Mission Conference speech or Farman, I would say Farman, some may say speech, it's there online. Just search 1945 Mission Conference speech of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, and you'll find it. And in that, Imam says that there's nothing wrong with fish. It is you who are ignorant. I'm just selectively quoting, but if you read, you will learn more. Imam refers to the Bhagat, these scholars in Jamaat, saying you are ignorant. You don't know. Fish is part of our tariqah. But fish is part of our tariqah in terms of universal soul, not as avatar. Can in that time, universal soul was called fish? Probably. Why? Because it was in the water. But in today's time, when we think being educated in this time, okay? Educated in this time, learning in this, technological world. If we continue to think fish as avatar, as fish, then we have problems here. The parable, the example of fish is actually alluding to nafsikul, meaning again, in today's time, we need to learn about different ranks to know which rank we are at and how can we elevate our ranks. All in batin. But we do have ladders, we do have stages which we need to climb. So thank you for bringing that up. Thank you so much.
Any other friends have questions or comments?
Yeah, Limadat Baima. Baima, करीम भाई जो प्रेजेंटेशन कर रहे थे ना, ए उजारे कोट बहु वेचना नीचे वहे दरिया हूँ रे दरिया बंदी माछली. तो यहाँ पे भी वो कनेक्ट कर सकते ना अपन की नफ्से कुल जो है वो अकले कुल से क्रियाजारी कर रहे की, मतलब आई डोंट नो कैसा इसको बोलना, मैं शायद गलत बोल रही. इसको थोड़ा कनेक्ट करके समझाओ ना बाबा कि उसमें भी वो मछली का ही एग्जाम्पल है. तो
So we will have to be careful that we cannot fit the higher tawil everywhere, right? It has to be step by step. In that Gnan, Muchare quote, beautifully, Peer is actually giving the example of the soul. And he's saying, it's my soul, that I am like a fish and I desire in the water with you. दोबारा बोले गुलजार गिनान का वर्स
હું તો દરિયાવંદી માછલી નીચે વહે દરિયા સાયા તારણા
नीचे वहे दरिया. So very interestingly, Peer is saying that it is my soul which is in the water, and then says that below me there is a water, there is darya, and darya, without this darya, without this ocean, I am like dry. I'm a seeking. I'm away from you, my Mawla. Help me become one with you. So here, when you take the example, you would say that it is an indicating of our own soul who wants to unite with the ocean. So when we talk about us as individuals, you would say, I'm a student, I'm learning, so I'm a mustajib, right? So mustajib, a student can say, I'm a fish and I want to be in the water with Imam. Peer at that time is giving us his own example that I'm a student, but still away from that deeper water, and I want to be one with you. Meaning that at his level, he's teaching us that there is so much more to learn. There is another Farman, if I'm not wrong, that Mola says that there's two Farmans. Mola says that Mu'min always seeks to go at a higher level. Meaning that whatever level we are seeking to go higher because there is so much more which is hidden from our eyes, our mind, right? In this particular Gnan, Peer is teaching us that we as souls still are away from the ocean, meaning we are not merged with Imam. So in this Gnan, we would say it is about us. With knowledge, with practice, with understanding in our being, when we are recognizing, at that time we realize that, okay, with time, Peer had come to that level that he would say, even being a Peer, he said that the rivers are flowing underneath me, meaning that I'm still away from that knowledge. But in reality, if I were to give you another tawil, another level where Peer is talking about, you'll be so shocked. If you were to study Quran talks about people living in Jannat and they will always have rivers flowing underneath. Rivers flowing underneath. So in one aspect, Peer is actually talking about his own status. That I'm like a fish who is seeking, but the rivers are flowing underneath me. He was already one with Imam. But that understanding, you, inshallah, with walking on the path, that you will be able to recognize that at one level, there are so many levels of teachings are given. We cannot take one concept and apply it everywhere to say it should fit. Meaning that when Peer says that he's like a machli, yes, he is like a universal soul and he wants to be one with the universal intellect. He is saying that. But then for us, when we are beginning, we need to say, I am like a fish who is away from Imam. I need to be one with the Imam. When we are learning has to be step by step. So first we apply to ourselves and then we go to the higher level. So to answer your question, can you say that? Yes, you can say that. But that would not be our first answer. The first answer should be me being dried fish, wanting to learn from Imam. And then you can continue to go that yes, Peer is talking about himself being the universal soul, being machli, and wanting to go higher. Or actually telling us that he was at that stage, which Quran talks about. Do you follow, Gulzar, what I'm saying?
हाँ भाई माँ बिल्कुल भाई माँ शुक्र मोलाली 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 अल्लाह भाई माँ समझ में आया कि सिंबल्स जो रहते ना उसको हर सिंबल को सेम तरीके से नहीं लेना चाहिए उसको उसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में समझना चाहिए एग्जांपल समझ गए थैंक यू
And always we have to talk about first us. And that gives us humility. Us meaning not I. I'm not saying that. all the flaws and blames and weaknesses we attach to ourselves, because that gives us humility. So we start with us like that, and then we say Pir is talking about himself as universal soul. So when we speak like that, when we learn like that, it keeps us grounded and humble.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
So thank you, NIAMAT Saiba.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah.
So, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, friends, for your participation, joining early in the morning. Truly appreciate you all. Thank you. Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, Limudat Mehma, thank you.